1. Introduction. Surely, you've never heard of weapons capable of turning living beings into liquid in mere seconds.
Right.
These weapons have terrified alien civilizations for centuries. But today, we will witness an unimaginable story where humans can actually drink these weapons like a luxury beverage. Can humanity turn deadly weapons into a part of daily life? Let's find out. 2. Background on Lumi and hydro weapons. To set the foundation for the story, I will describe in detail the Lumi species and their hydro weapons. This part is essential for viewers to understand the terrifying power of these weapons. Hydro weapons, a fear in the universe. The Lumi are a civilization very different from humans, living in a moist environment with gel-like bodies. Their weapons, known as hydro, are extremely powerful and can annihilate any living creature with just a single drop. They are seen as symbols of strength and power, the ultimate tools used by the Lumi in their wars. Not just weapons. Hydro is an integral part of Lumi's military history. What's unique about hydro is its ability not only to destroy the body but to melt everything, from living beings to physical structures. An entire army could be wiped out in an instant if caught in the area affected by hydro. This is why every alien civilization fears facing this weapon. 3. The appearance of Richard Maxwell. Richard Maxwell is a human trainee sent to join a special training program alongside Lumi warriors. But contrary to what the Lumi expected from a warrior, Richard showed no fear and even treated these weapons like strange toys. Richard Maxwell and a new approach. Richard showed no fear of these weapons. Instead, he was highly curious about them. Rather than focusing on learning to use them as weapons of war, he was interested in how they could exist without harming humans. He even asked about their preservation and fermentation process as if they were a fine alcoholic product. This left the Lumi warriors quite perplexed. Interesting example. When Richard first saw the hydro weapons, he casually asked, "So, how do you store these things? Can I take a sample for study?" These simple but unexpected questions bewildered the Lumi warriors. They had expected Richard to be scared or at least cautious around them. But instead, he posed questions as if researching a delicious drink. 4. The surprise of Lumi. With Richard's strange actions and attitude, the Lumi warriors began to doubt whether humans were really a threat. They tried to explain the dangers of the weapon to him, but Richard seemed indifferent to their warnings. Humorous and surprising scene. Richard tried to take samples from the hydro containers without any health issues. In a bizarre situation, Richard even drank directly from the hydro container without showing any signs of being affected. This left the Lumi warriors frozen in confusion. They couldn't understand how a human could drink a weapon they considered deadly and still survive. 5. The miracle transformation. Turning weapons into a luxury beverage. The world of Lumi began to change after Richard Maxwell continued researching their hydro weapons. He discovered that the liquid had a chemical structure similar to alcohol on Earth, especially in strong alcoholic beverages. What was surprising was that Richard turned these deadly weapons into a product that could be consumed as a luxury drink, making alcohol from weapons. Richard started to study factors such as storage temperature, pressure, and the maturation process of hydro to understand how it could be used as a consumable product. He quickly realized that with the special preservation process of the Lumi, this weapon could be transformed into a unique type of alcohol that humans could safely consume. Therefore, he began to process it and planned to market it. Unexpected results. Richard not only studied the hydro weapon, but also changed the Lumi's perception of what they considered weapons. While the Lumi viewed it as a tool of war, Richard saw it as a luxury and fascinating drink. He quickly proved that the weapons Lumi saw as deadly could become a sought-after luxury drink on Earth. 6. New developments. Problems in the processing stage. After a long period of research and testing, Richard began processing the hydro weapons into high-end alcohols, but things were not as simple as he thought. One day, during an experiment, he created a perfect alcohol sample with a blend of high-purity liquids stored under strict conditions. However, an unexpected issue occurred when he accidentally created a sample with a hydro content beyond the safe limit. The situation. One night, during an experiment, Richard decided to try a new formula. He carefully recorded all the necessary measurements, prepared the equipment and materials. However, due to an error in adjusting temperature and humidity, a new bottle of alcohol created had a hydro content to twice the normal level. When Richard tasted it, he immediately felt a burning sensation spreading through his body. This is not an ordinary drink, Richard thought. But strangely, instead of melting, his body just felt a strong stimulation, like an electric shock. He quickly left the lab, but the intense heat in his body didn't stop increasing. Solving the situation, Richard had to find a way to control the situation, using cooling techniques and restoring normalcy. After re-examining the sample, he realized there was a different way to adjust the hydro's strength. He began to refine and adjust the processing, applying a formula to calm the hydro while still retaining its unique characteristics. This issue not only helped Richard improve his alcohol processing techniques, but also led to an important discovery. Hydro could be adjusted to suit specific human needs, from creating lighter drinks to stronger beverages. 7. Awakening the curiosity of Lumi. Although Richard successfully transformed hydro into alcohol, he noticed another surprising turn of events. Lumi warriors and officials began to get curious about the drink Richard had created. At first, they thought it was just a game, a mere experiment. But when they saw Richard's results, they began to realize that the fact that humans could drink these powerful weapons without harm was a strange phenomenon. The situation. One day, while General Apo was supervising a military training, he couldn't help but notice the change in the attitude of the Lumi warriors toward Richard. They had always kept their distance and didn't understand why humans didn't see their weapons as a threat. But now, something seemed to be shifting in their minds. One Lumi warrior, who had once been very apprehensive about the hydro weapons, now asked Richard, "You can drink them without side effects. We can't understand it." Richard smiled and replied, "Yes, that's because we know how to use them without harming the body. But I'd advise you to be more cautious when trying them. This is a special kind of drink, not something you can drink just any time." Solving the situation. Richard's response made the Lumi warriors start thinking. They realized that humans not only had the ability to endure what they considered deadly weapons, but also knew how to use them in different contexts, which made them respect humans more. 8. Unprecedented cooperation between Lumi and humans. As the story of Richard and his new inventions spread within the Lumi community, officials and scientists began holding meetings to discuss cooperation with humans. They not only wanted to continue studying hydro as a weapon, but also wanted to find ways to apply it in other fields, such as the food industry, pharmaceuticals, and even tourism. The situation. One morning, General Apo called for a special meeting to discuss the possibility of cooperation with humans. The Lumi scientists began opening reports and research on using hydro in the food processing industry. Richard attended the meeting and proposed a bold idea. We could turn these weapons into consumer products, not just alcohol. They could be used in beauty products, pharmaceuticals, even high-end food. I've experimented with a few formulas and found that hydro can be used to create extremely unique spices. Why not think about building a new economy where we leverage the potential of these weapons? Solving the situation. Although the Lumi warriors were initially skeptical about this idea, they gradually realized that human creativity could open up new opportunities for development. They began to research consumer products made from hydro, from unique spices, beverages to cosmetics. After experimentation, a product line named Hydro Essence was born, and it immediately became a trend on the market. 9. Unexpected situation. Humans and Lumi become economic partners. As Hydro Essence became a global sensation, not only in the Lumi community, but also on Earth, both civilizations began to recognize the strong potential for economic cooperation. The story of how powerful weapons could be transformed into luxury consumer products spread across the galaxy. The situation. After several months of success, Lumi began exporting Hydro Essence beyond their planet, and they saw massive profits from this. Richard, who had initiated the idea, was invited to international conferences to discuss how to optimize the production and marketing process. Lumi officials also began expanding their cooperation with companies on Earth to further develop hydro-based products, solving the situation. With this collaboration, Lumi And humans created a new economy where weapons were not only tools of war, but also valuable resources. Both civilizations learned that not everything should be judged by its destructive capabilities, but sometimes its true value lies in how humans can exploit and use it. 10. Encounter with other civilizations. As hydroessence spread across Earth and other planets, it wasn't just Lumi and humans who became partners. Other alien civilizations began to take an interest in this product. One of the largest planets in the region, Tiburon, home to a highly intelligent but extremely conservative species, began to pay attention. The situation. One day, envoys from the planet Tiburon visited Lumi to discuss hydroessence. For the first time in history, a civilization could view Lumi's weapons as a luxury item, not for fighting, but for consumption. But they didn't come just to discuss cooperation. They were also there to see if humans and Lumi could indeed create a product that could be mass-produced and exported across the galaxy. Reactions of Lumi and Tiburon. Lumi officials were concerned that Tiburon might misuse the product for warfare purposes. However, humans saw the situation differently. Richard Maxwell, with a business mindset, saw this as an opportunity to expand the market and form a powerful alliance between the three civilizations. Solving the situation, Richard began planning a meeting between representatives from Lumi, humans, and Tiburon, aiming to convince Tiburon that hydroessence would benefit all parties and, more importantly, help maintain peace between the civilizations. The meeting was not only about negotiating economic contracts, but also a chance for Lumi and Tiburon to understand each other better and avoid unnecessary conflicts in the future. 11. Unexpected incidents. Mass production of hydroessence. A major challenge arose when Lumi and humans began producing hydroessence on a large scale. The production process began facing technical problems, especially with storing hydroweapons in containers that were now adjusted for consumer use rather than warfare. Failed tests and fermentation issues forced Lumi scientists to work hard to find a solution. The situation. In a large-scale trial, a new batch of products was produced in Lumi's factory. However, when staff tested the samples, they found that some bottles had twice the hydro content of the normal level. When consumers tasted it, they began experiencing unimaginable side effects. A group of customers began feeling intense stimulation in their bodies, almost as if they were melting, though no one was actually harmed. Solving the situation, Richard immediately realized this was a critical issue and led a team of human and Lumi scientists to investigate the cause. They discovered that changes in pressure and temperature during storage had increased the hydro content to dangerous levels. After extensive trials and adjustments to the process, the team found that by precisely adjusting the pressure and controlling the temperature, they could produce a mild-flavored drink that maintained hydro's properties without causing harm. Lessons and outcome. Although this was a major challenge, it was also an opportunity for humans and Lumi to learn and grow. The final products were not only safe, but carried special value. Hydroessence became not just a consumer product, but also a testament to the collaboration between different civilizations, showing that sometimes challenges are opportunities for development. 12. Market wars. When hydroessence became a popular consumer product, competition between civilizations began to emerge. Companies on Earth quickly recognized the profit potential and launched aggressive advertising campaigns. However, some nations and alien civilizations worried that others might misuse the product for warfare. Earth's nations began debating whether the product was truly safe or if consuming it was a wise step. The situation. A heated debate took place between Earth's leaders, Lumi scientists, and Tiburon officials about the distribution of hydroessence and whether there should be strict controls over its consumption. Some nations on Earth demanded tight regulations on its sale, while other civilizations saw that free distribution could bring more economic benefits. Solving the situation. To resolve this debate, Richard proposed a bold solution. We can't let market wars destroy the opportunity for cooperation between civilizations. Instead, we should create an economic alliance where all civilizations can jointly control and adjust the production and distribution of hydroessence for the benefit of all. This will help us maintain peace and develop a fair and sustainable market. After lengthy discussions, Earth's leaders, Lumi and Tiburon, agreed to form a space alliance to manage and distribute hydroessence fairly and responsibly. 13. New life after hydroessence becomes a cultural staple. As the global market expanded and people began using hydroessence as part of their daily lives, its consumption became a staple at parties and social events. On Earth, from luxury restaurants to political gatherings, drinking hydroessence was seen as a symbol of sophistication and class. The situation: at a grand party on Earth, where Lumi and Tiburon officials, along with famous business people and artists, gathered to sample the latest hydroessence premium drinks, Richard surprised everyone by proposing another idea. Why don't we organize a global hydroessence event, where all civilizations can come together to share experiences? It could be more than just a party. It could be a cultural exchange to better understand each other, solving the situation. The event was held with participation from all civilizations. It wasn't just an opportunity to taste hydroessence, but also a chance to share cultural and lifestyle experiences. This helped strengthen relationships between the civilizations and created new collaboration opportunities in various fields. 14. Final lesson and conclusion of the story. The story of hydroessence is not just about a unique product, but a journey full of challenges, creativity, and collaboration between civilizations. It reminds us that sometimes the things we consider weapons, dangerous, or harmful can turn into great opportunities when we know how to view and harness them differently. It is the creativity and adaptability of humans and civilizations that transformed a deadly weapon into a high-end, valuable product. Final message: nothing is impossible to change, and everything can become an opportunity when we change our perspective and how we use it. This story also shows that in seemingly difficult circumstances, creativity and adaptability can make everything better, even those things that once seemed impossible to overcome.